Hey, what's going on, Endurance Lab Riders? Coach Flo here. Just wanted to take a chance to give a little bit of an explanation of how to get your data out of the ramp and max aerobic power test. Owen was nice enough to let us take a look at his data, and we can go ahead and go here. So I am in the mobile app, which you can download in the Apple iStore or the Google Play Store, and you'll be able to see all of your scheduled rides. I can quickly look at that. This is all next week. But we'll go to today, we'll focus on that, and today we're going to be looking at the ramp and aerobic power test. We'll click on that. It'll take you to the front screen, tell you where you rode, a couple other things, how much stress there is, but we're going to scroll down to the interval section, which is on the bottom here. See if we can get it. Good. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is all the different intervals here. For intervals, we're going to look at his 20-minute power. So what we're looking at here is his average for the 20-minute power. So the second column here is his watts average, and then his beats per minute average for that interval. So the first one is, we'll look at the bottom there. It's 230, right? So 230 for the 20-minute section. If the test was done correctly and he dumped everything out for the step test without any calculations, this should be very close to his FTP without any correction. So we'll go to one more place to double check that. We'll head over to power and we'll go to peaks. So what we're looking for is his 1-minute power from this ride. And so this is from the ramp test. His maximum 1-minute power was 264. So what we'll do for that calculation is you take 264 and you'll multiply by 0.75, and that gives us around 198. So we'll have to ask Owen what his current FTP is. We can take a look. 244 is his best 20-minute ever. So let's see, 244 times the traditional 0.95. That'll give us 244. Where's the time? Oh, times 0.95, and that gives us about 230, which makes a lot of sense. His 230 on this ride, traditional 244 20-minute test, multiplied by 0.95 gives us 230 for his traditional FTP for a 20-minute test, and his 1-minute power maximum here at 264 gives us 198. So here's the important thing. We've gotten two different numbers, and that tells us a different things, right? So why would we get two different FTP numbers and use both of those to train? And so the tests are uniquely different. The second test a longer duration, and the longer the duration of the test, the better it's going to be. The shorter the duration of the test, the more it is going to lean on anaerobic powers, meaning powers that are above your threshold. So what we like to call it here is the first number from the ramp test we will call your VO2 number, or the target that you'll be hitting or going for if you're doing workouts above threshold. The second number during the 20-minute test, the 230 in this case, what we'll want to do is focus on that number being the number that we want to focus on for workouts below threshold. So interesting there in the fact that Owen has got a lot of base endurance, which is great. A lot of times you'll find a disconnect between the two numbers. They're not too far off. They're about 30-watt differences, but definitely tells us that he's got a good endurance base and could use some VO2 work to bring up that number from the 198 to the 230, and then kind of work each end. So it lets us know as coaches which end do we want to use. Do we want to work on the endurance side, low cadence, high torque, or do we want to work the VO2 side, which is like 110, 120% of the FTP? Hope that helps.